Do you know what time it is? It's prime time. The official commissioner podcast of the Sim Madden League. Buckle up because it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be fire. Now, without further ado, here is SML legend Prime Time 000.
Hello and welcome to SML The Sit Down, the long-awaited, often hyped up, but never happened until now. It's here. Welcome to the show, Rowin.
What's up? Glad to be here finally. Give the people what they want, what they don't want, and guess we'll find out.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm excited, man. Let's jump right into it. Hey, the Rowin. What's this username about?
It's kind of like an inside joke between me and my friends back in South Carolina that I went to high school with. We just find like all sorts of things just stupid, and it's just kind of like if you don't like know what we're talking about, we make no sense, and it's just kind of a play on a joke we had, and just kind of ran with it. And I've had it for a few years and just never changed it.
Nice. When did you start playing Madden then? Have you been playing for quite some time now?
Well, when I got in the SML in 20, it was whenever the primer was just starting, because
Yeah.
I was the first primer call up. That was my first like online sim league. I played in like one, I think in 19, but it was for like half the year and it was kind of in and out, falling apart. So this was like my first like real, I would say, competitive like Madden
What
20.
was the primer like? What was it like playing in there? You were like you said, the first call up ever.
Armor was cool. When I got in, it was just started getting going, and it had about a little bit of activity here and there, and it was just getting started, so that helped. But I could see as my time throughout the primer, and then coming back in the primer as a chat moderator, that it has its ups and downs, and there's definitely a step up when you get to the SML. But it was a nice like ease into it before I got full bore in the SML.
And how did you say you found the SML then? You're just surfing online or on Twitter or something?
Yeah, I literally just looked up like online Madden leagues or like online sim Madden leagues. Because like my whole thing about playing is like I like to be like serious and like realistic as possible. So I think I use the word sim, and then being the name Sim Madden League, it,
Yeah.
it doesn't get much easier than that.
Yeah. And at some point you joined, you played your a few games. I forget how this all worked. And then the Reaper thing happens. Do you remember the Reaper thing? And walk me through what the frick you were thinking and what you remember from Rowan Cub being the Reaper to nearly having you kicked from the league.
So with the Reaper, there was this thing going on Twitter, and this guy destroying leagues and calling himself the Reaper, and having this profile picture, this image with him on Twitter, and it was an April Fool's Day thing, and I was sitting around and I was bored, and I was like, let me mess with Prime a little bit here, and I went and found the picture he got from Twitter, and I think I texted it to
Yeah.
you or something, and I was like, "There's no way he's gonna have my number," and you knew, and then you kicked me from the league, and you knew exactly who I was, and I was like, "Oh, he did." And then I remember you calling me, being like, "Yeah, are you being serious? Like, is that you?" And I was like, "No, no, no, I'm just messing around, April Fools."
That's funny. I can't believe that happened. Yeah, that was nuts. So you play in the SML, and then you join what Faz calls the Thanos Club, and it sounds like you and Faz have a good relationship. Is that right?
Yeah, me and Faz get along real well. I met him at Universal a few months ago when he came down. There was a picture that everyone was giving crap for that, which is stupid.
Let's
But
talk about that. What was with that grip Faz had on your hip or your? We're gonna just.
I didn't notice anything until it was brought up in chat. So I think it was just kind of y'all guys were just y'all found something and ran with it, and there was nothing. It was
Nothing sketchy.
blown out of proportion.
Okay.
No, but yeah, me and Faz play NHL together. Clink joins us. We got a few other friends that don't really play Madden that play with us. But no, Faz is a good guy, and I don't know him a ton. I've just met him through here, but he almost seems like the type of guy that like I feel like in the league, if I had a bigger brother, it would be Faz.
No, that's cool, man. Faz is definitely a good guy. Um, so how was that? How did that meetup go? I know you said you play NHL, so it might not have been awkward, but I've always thought maybe sometimes those might be awkward.
I could see him being awkward. The one with me and Faz went smooth. We were at Universal. We got food. Met his mom that was with him and his other brother, and we just have a lot of similar interests. And we've talked a lot before, just one on one and NHL and other stuff like that in small groups. So the conversation just flowed, and it was really easy and just a smooth transition. But then, like I met Grams as well at one point, and this one was a little more awkward, I'm not gonna lie, because me and Grams, I don't know what the history is between us.
Yeah.
I think he's a cool guy, but when I met him, obviously I hadn't had as many communications with him one on one, so it was a little more awkward. But it's just two grown ups that talk over a phone and over a video game getting together, so it's not too bad.
So is it true Miss Graham stiffed you like she was in the car? She didn't want to see you or talk to you. She just kept her distance.
This is 100% true. I went over there and I was giving handshakes, as a nice young individual trying to meet everybody, just handshakes, nice to meet you. I gave Grams one, and then his wife was in the passenger seat and never didn't really get out. And then I was walking away, and she finally popped out and waved at me as I was walking off, and that was the Miss Graham story. That's all I got.
So what was Graham's like in person then? Pretty good guy, I take it.
Yeah, good guy. He was going to play some pool, I think, at this place called Spats that he loves, or Golden Tee, this little bar down in Orlando that he goes to a lot. He was a good guy. Yeah, he gave me a bunch of shirts that I have over in my room, and it was a pleasant exchange. It was quick, business-like, I would say, just in and out, and nothing sweet to it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So you're not saying you're cheating on the Thanos Club with the click then? That's what you're telling me. You're
Nah,
still
you'd
okay.
have to find me 6 feet under before I was part of the clique.
Okay, but you believe there is a click.
There's a clique.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad you agree. Um, so let's go back to the SML now. Who's somebody you would and it might be me. Who's somebody you'd really like to put a smackdown on? I mean, just put 50 points on him. Just really bend him over and take it to him.
Probably Grams as of recently.
Oh,
Just because I don't know if you saw it. This literally happened like 30 minutes ago. You told me to check my DM for the sit down, and then I said joke. I said, oh, there goes Saquon for 4 games. I got suspended because I just played a CPU game,
yeah.
and Graham said something like, oh, it pleases me that a rule breaker like Rowan finally gets what he had coming. I
Oh, so there's a
I
little bit of
ever since I've been in here, I've never had an infraction.
yeah.
So I'm not really sure what he was referring to. Um, I don't. That makes no sense to me. I've never had anyone approach me, because I'm open to constructive criticism. Never had anyone approach me, and he always just seems to take the opposite side in arguments. And just, I wouldn't mind just 50, 60, 70, just celebrating every touchdown, just making that old head mad, and just
Yeah.
just letting him really know how I feel.
Yeah. So it sounds like you got some friction between you two a little bit.
Yeah, he likes to sometimes act buddy buddy, and sometimes he likes to act like we got something going on. So I would prefer he just picks something and rolls with it. I don't like this wishy washy, and this will probably upset him and get him in his feelings. But he's at Disney, so hopefully he gets over it.
That's funny. No, that's funny. What's your thoughts then on the NFC East overall? And I actually have a question from a listener, and they said, why haven't you won a division title in the NFC East yet?
Let's see. Why I haven't A big reason I haven't won a division title is QP up in Washington. I last few seasons I've started to get his number. I think I took one or two off of him, but I think for the first like five, five probably seasons of this cycle, I was like 0-10 against him. Like I could not beat him whatsoever. So that's automatically 2 games he's gonna have up on me, and he's a good enough player that he handles business outside of the division. So that's a big problem with it is him, and then me just kind of, even when I do have a foot up on him, I'll drop a game that I shouldn't to someone that's a little subpar, a little average, someone that I should beat, and I'll just drop it. And But I would credit a lot of the reason why I have not personally won a division to QB.
Okay, so you're saying Grams is now washed and he's no longer an elite player.
If we run the record between me and Graham's a cycle, it's not pretty. So
Okay, so let's talk about not last season. I think it's the season prior. You actually made it to the NFC divisional round. You played Faz, and you had Faz on the ropes. I mean, it was like 11th, 12th round. You're bloody in his nose, and somehow he gets a lucky punch and knocks you out. What the frick happened there?
this game was over. This game was dead in the water. I played Faz earlier in the season, and I think it was the same thing. Like I was up on him, and he snuck one off on me. And I mean, Faz was dead in the water, and I like Faz. He's like I said, he's like a big brother. But this is also one guy. I thought of him in the 50 question. This was one guy I would like to just because we have a fun little banter. I would like to really put it on him. But he was dead in the water. I was up 2 scores with the ball, and I had that my mindset of me. I'm a little arrogant. I'll let it fly. So I was like, let's bury him right here right now, put this game out of reach, and it hit the fan, and it was I think I blacked out for like 20 minutes. I went unconscious, no idea what I was doing. Dan was ripping me, everyone was ripping me, and that's one thing that I look back on because if I win that game, I'm a win away from the Super Bowl, and I played D Muse, who has had his number a few times. So
Yeah.
it pains me to think back about that, but I know my time's coming.
We could have had a Rowin Prime Super Bowl. That would have been
Uh,
fun.
that'd have been viewership would have been through the roof.
Let's another question I have from a fan is who is your favorite person to trash talk and why?
Trash talk. See, I like trash talking everybody. Let's think of recently. Recently, I like trash talking Matt a lot
Yeah, well, let's talk
because
about Matt. What do you think about this? I gotta set the stage here. You beat Matt, and he plays this role of, oh, I suck, blah blah blah, and then next thing you know, he beats Bomber, and all of a sudden he's cocky again. What's your thoughts on
yeah,
that?
see, that's one of my pet peeves. One thing that gets me going is the whole "I'm not good." I like Paulie does it, but Paulie. The only thing that's okay with Paulie is he's consistent about it.
Yeah,
He's never gonna say he's good.
mhm.
He will always say he's bad. I don't like the people like Matt when he's like, "Oh, I suck," and then next week he's gonna sprain his arm, pat himself on the back,
Yeah,
tweeting about all his wins against Bomber. And then I beat him, and he's like, "Yep, that's how it should go. I'm not that good. I just stay consistent." But
yeah,
back to the trash talk part, I like trash talking Matt because when I trash talk people, their response is what gets me going.
yeah.
Matt getting upset and firing back at me, that's what gets me going. That's what I love. If they're gonna die down and not say anything, I mean, I might say something here or there, but there's no fun in that. I like getting people riled up and seeing how they come at me after I come at them.
No, that's funny. That's funny. And is there still beef with Prime Time 000?
No, me and Prime have buried the hatchet. There's been y'all guys. This is breaking news, but there's been talks about a Thanos club, a Prime. We got big things in store. That's all y'all need to know for right now.
Let's just say next cycle is gonna be crazy. That's all I gotta say. So outside of Faz, because I'm gonna take Faz out of this. Who's a good ally of yours in the SML? Would you say?
Let's see. We'll Clink. Me and Clink are pretty. We have some banter too, but that's kind of I'll tie him in with Faz because it's kind of we're all in a trifecta together. So outside of that, um, no, I don't know how Bomber feels about me, but me and Bomber have had intellectual conversations through a DM. And he kind of understands where I'm coming from, and I understand where him coming from, and we can ask each other questions about things. So Bomber and then Dump probably as well because me and Dump's a little on the younger side, and we have a similar interest in like Nebraska, and I've talked to Dump about a few other things like that. But I would say Bomber. I don't know if Bomber likes me or hates me. To be honest, I can't tell with the guy, but like I can think just back off recent memory. Me and Bomber had like a good 5-10 minute conversation in DM the other day about the game, and just that's something that I don't really do with many other people in the league.
Bomber seems to DM a lot of guys. I wonder what's behind that. If he's just trying to buddy with everybody so we can jam them in the back, or what his big plan is for that. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. So let's move on now. Your dad watches games. Is he still involved in that? And that's kind of a cool thing. Maybe throw a comment in on Paprika. I seen him in chat actually recently. I think it was a Matt game, an epic game that he was in the chat on.
Yeah, he actually watched that game. He actually texted me. So we know I had my 2 seasons of disappearance. That's no secret. I kind of zoned out for a while. He After that, I wasn't really sending him links because I was kind of just playing games late at night when I could get him in, or I knew he'd be asleep. And he called me a few weeks ago, and he was like, "Hey, you still playing in the league? Like, you haven't been sending me many leaks links recently." And I was like, "Yeah." So I started sending him again, and then I sent him the Matt one, and I said, "We're both 7-1." And I have chat up watching what people say because I like to see what's going on and be involved in that. And he always tells me to be patient, don't be cocky, take it
Yeah.
easy, slow the roll. And so he was watching that game, and as soon as I won and I started typing in chat and getting all excited, he said like, "All right now." And I called him up as soon as the game was over, and I was talking hype to him, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah." He said, "You won. It was both good teams." So yeah, he's still watching. He likes the competitiveness that comes out of me for it because he watched me play competitive sports when I was a kid. So he enjoys watching me being able to compete.
No, that's pretty cool. Do you embrace your role as kind of this villain in the SML? Like, I think there's a lot of old guys in the SML who look at you as kind of this like young punk almost, like, oh, this cocky little, a college kid coming in and he wins a game and he pounds his chest. Do you kind of embrace that role?
Oh, I love it. Like I said, I feed off people's responses. So when Matt gets mad, when Grams gets mad, when Mike gets mad, when the click gets riled up, it brings me to my feet because they need to understand that this is the future. I am the future. The old heads is your time's out. This is what y'all have to look forward to. There's many more like me out there. And if you're good at something and you got the ability, embrace it and let them know.
There you go, man. That's putting the click on notice there. They deny their existence. By the way, I'm
No, no. Let me get this out while we're here. Mike's the head honcho. Mike calls all the shots. He acts like they don't exist, but and Mike always tries to act like he's the bigger man in the room. Like when I was the other day, I was saying in chat, I was like, "Yeah, Mike's the leader of the clique. Here comes their leader." He said, "Be a man and have your own opinions." Oh, okay, Mike. Yeah, I don't see everyone else screaming that you're the leader of the clique. I mean, it's kind of a well-known thing. My my opinion is the right opinion, so I don't see why I can't air the truth.
There you go. There you go. Rowin going. This is uncut, by the way, guys. This is although
Uncut.
I promised uncut.
One take.
It's
One
one
take.
take, baby. So let's move on now. Another question from a fan. They had said you're a Browns fan. How did that come about? You becoming a Browns fan, and I guess yeah, just tell us your story.
So I wasn't really into professional sports all that much. When I was growing up, it was more my dad wasn't really into professional sports, so he had me watch a lot of college football, um, college basketball, just stuff like that. And then I moved around a lot. I've lived in like 5 different states, so I never really had like a stable team that I was rolling with. And it was like 2016 or 17 season. They were playing the Steelers, the last game of the season. The Steelers had all their backups in, and the Browns were like 0 and 15, and they threw a wide open pass to what's the wide receiver? They cut him. CC, two C's is in his name, but he hit him in the hands and he dropped it, and the Browns ended up losing. But I was like, I like watching football. I was like, I need to get into the NFL. I was
Yeah.
like, so I was like, I think in 2 years they're gonna be straightening things out and they're gonna be real good. And the first year I watched them, they went 0 and 16, and the next year they went 1 and 15. And I was like, maybe it's gonna be a little longer than 2 years. But I got fully bought in. Baker was one of my favorite college prospects, and that was just the cherry on top. So obviously, if they didn't get Baker, I was still going to be rolling with them. But that just pushed me over the edge. And then Odell's one of my favorite players as well. So it all just kind of fell out of the sky and came together perfectly. But I went through a few years of rough when people were like, "Oh, why are you a Browns fan?" But if you ask some people that I'm close with, they'll understand that I was in it when they were not in it like Bomber and Death Wish, like from way back, but in it from a realistic standpoint. Ever since I started watching the NFL, that's been my team.
No, that's cool, man. And just two more questions I got here for you. Does Miss Rowan know how deep you are, or how nerdy the SML is? Does she know much about the SML?
No, I try to like kind of introduce her to it, and I'm like, she doesn't understand quite the video game thing all that much. So like, I'll be telling her like, I tell her I have to play a game, and she doesn't understand the have to part.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, no, no. There's someone else like across the country that me and him are playing each other. It's like I have to do it right now. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'm sure. So, but she sees me on Group Me, and she knows I have to play the games, and but like she would have no idea about this sit down right here. If I introduced this idea to her, she'd think it's a foreign topic, and she'd be like, what are you doing?
Are you gonna show
But
it to
no,
her?
yeah, I'll show her a little bit of it, just be like, this is when I say I have to, this is the reason
There
right
you
here.
go.
I have to. It's stuff like this. So she gets it. And I think she's starting to become more understanding of it, and she is working a full-time job now. So I have a little more time to devote
Uh-huh.
my energy to the SML, and it deserves 100% of me because I get 100% of it.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And yeah, we encourage Miss Rowan to get involved in the SML in some way. Maybe she'll be our first female owner one day. You never know. You never know.
Never know.
Final question here, and then I'll leave the mic open to yours. What is your ultimate goal in the SML? What's your biggest goal?
Me, everyone could say is to win a Simbardi, and obviously that's a goal of mine. But mine is to just be competitive because if I can be competitive, I'm gonna be happy at the end of the day. I don't need to win every game. I would love to win every game, but if I can just stay in the top tier of the SML, if I can make people mad, if I can get people riled up at any hour of the day, that's a successful day for me. If I can get someone upset because of something I said, I'm gonna be happy. Like they say, if someone hates you, you're doing something right. You got to be doing something right. So I will be, as long as I'm in the SML, I will be that villain. I will be that. They can put the target on my back, and everyone else can fly under the radar, and I have no problem with that.
There you go, guys. That's Rowan Co. Rowan, the mic is yours now. We're at 22 minutes. Say what you want to say. Whatever. Mic is yours.
Let's see. What I got anything to say? I know a lot of y'all might not like me. Maybe think I'm a little cocky, a little arrogant, a little over the top. I get it. As you can have your opinions. I'm gonna be me. You can be you. I don't hate anybody in the SML. If I give you a hard time, it's because you're a fun target, and the way you react makes it all for me. So I don't hate any of you. I love all of you. I hope to be here as long as I can. I'm working hard on getting me a PS5. I'm pulling some strings. I got a few months. I got about what?
You
A
got
month, a
you
month
got
and a
you got a
half.
month.
Yeah, I got about a month and a half. I'm pulling some strings. I'm trying to get the funds right, pay rent, take care of my food and my gas and everything like that, and working hard to get it because I ain't trying to miss out on all this, and I know y'all aren't trying to miss out on all this.
Yes.
So,
There you go, guys. That was Rowin Kuh, one of the most dynamic, one of the most polarizing, and now one of the best players in the Sim Madden League. The Rowin Kuh, as he flashes his Justin Timberlake-esque earring there. Guys, Rowin Kuh, I'm primed. That was the sit down. Rowin, good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for doing this.
yes, sir. Always a pleasure.